Love rarely begins in dramatic moments. It doesn't need flashing lights or stadium crowds to exist. More often, it appears quietly, in small spaces where two lives cross for reasons that seem ordinary at first. This is the world of K-Pop Matchmaker, where imagined connections unfold through simple moments that slowly turn into something meaningful. These stories do not happen on stage. They begin in everyday places where fame fades into the background and people meet simply as themselves. A shared laugh, a small act of kindness, a conversation that stretches longer than expected. These are the moments where something new begins. In this chapter, 7 completely new pairings find each other in places far removed from concerts and comebacks. Their meetings are unexpected, unplanned, and shaped by coincidence. Yet each moment carries a quiet sense that something important has just started. Some connections appear instantly, like recognition between old friends. Others grow slowly, revealing themselves only after patience and trust. But every story begins the same way, with two people noticing each other in a world that rarely slows down long enough to allow it. In this universe, love is not loud. It is patient, surprising, and sometimes found in the most unexpected corners of life. Lee Know from Stray Kids and Kazuha from LESSERAFIM, the gentle caretakers. They meet at a small animal shelter during a rainy afternoon volunteer shift. Lee Know kneels beside a nervous gray cat, brushing its fur slowly so it won't panic. Across the room, Kazuha walks in carrying a box of donated blankets, shaking rainwater from her umbrella. At first, they only exchange polite nods. The shelter is quiet except for the occasional bark or soft meow. But as they move through the rows of cages together, their shared gentleness becomes obvious. They both crouch low when approaching frightened animals, speaking softly, moving carefully. During a short break, they sit on the floor beside a sleepy puppy that insists on curling between them. Kazuha laughs when the puppy climbs into Lee Know's lap, and his quiet smile appears. Warm, sincere, almost shy. They begin talking about why they volunteer here. For Lee Know, animals are a reminder of calm in a busy world. For Kazuha, helping them feels grounding. When the rain finally stops, they walk outside together. The air smells fresh and clean. Neither wants to rush the moment. Before leaving, Lee Know asks if she plans to volunteer again next week. Kazuha smiles and says yes. The answer feels like the start of something. Taehyun from TXT and Ray from IVE, the curious stargazers. They meet inside a quiet planetarium where artificial stars stretch across the curved ceiling. Taehyun sits in the back row with a small notebook, sketching constellation patterns as the narrator explains distant galaxies. A few seats away, Ray tilts her head upward, completely absorbed in the glowing sky above. When the lights slowly return, they both realize they had been staring at the same star cluster. Ray laughs first, commenting that the stars almost feel real. Taehyun shows her his notebook, where he has drawn the constellation they were watching. She is impressed, and suddenly the conversation flows easily. They wander into the exhibit hall, pausing at displays about black holes and nebulae. Ray asks endless questions, curious about everything. Taehyun enjoys explaining what he knows, occasionally admitting when he isn't sure either. The museum begins to close, but neither notices how much time has passed. Outside, the real night sky stretches quietly above them. Taehyun offers to walk Ray toward the train station, and she agrees. They walk slowly, still talking about stars and distant planets. For both of them, the universe suddenly feels smaller. Not because of space, but because someone new now shares it with them. RM from BTS and Mina from TWICE. The thoughtful philosophers. They meet at a quiet museum exhibit dedicated to modern art. RM stands in front of a large abstract painting, studying it carefully with his hands in his coat pockets. Mina approaches the same piece, tilting her head as if trying to understand the emotion hidden inside the colors. After several minutes of silent observation, Mina finally says she thinks the painting feels like loneliness. RM smiles slightly and says he thought the same thing. The conversation begins naturally after that. They walk slowly through the exhibit, discussing each piece they encounter. RM enjoys interpreting the deeper meanings behind the artwork, while Mina offers emotional insights that surprise him. In front of a sculpture shaped like fractured glass, they stop again. Mina says it reminds her of how people hide their feelings. RM nods thoughtfully, saying art often tells the truth people avoid. Soon, the museum begins announcing its closing time. They step outside into the cool evening air, still discussing the pieces they saw. RM recommends a nearby cafe where artists often gather, and Mina agrees to join him. Their conversation continues effortlessly, moving from art to music to quiet reflections about life. For both of them, the meeting feels rare. The kind of conversation that doesn't happen often, but leaves a lasting impression. Jaehyun from NCT and Lisa from BLACKPINK, the creative explorers. They meet in a cozy, used bookstore cafe while both searching for something to read. Jaehyun reaches for a photography book at the same moment Lisa grabs it from the other side of the shelf. They pause, laugh, and decide to look through it together. The book is filled with street photography from cities around the world. Lisa points out the bold movement captured in each frame, while Jaehyun admires the quiet emotions hidden in ordinary scenes. They sit at a nearby table, flipping through the pages slowly. A soft jazz playlist fills the cafe, and the scent of coffee drifts through the room. Lisa talks about how photography captures moments that disappear too quickly. Jaehyun agrees, saying music sometimes tries to do the same thing. Soon they begin discussing travel, favorite cities, and the beauty of unexpected encounters. Time passes unnoticed until the cafe lights dim for closing. Outside, the night feels calm and cool. Lisa thanks him for sharing the book. Jaehyun smiles and says next time they should each bring a favorite photo to show the other. The idea feels natural. Sometimes connections begin not with grand gestures, but with a single shared page. Jongho from ATEEZ and Lily from NMIXX, the powerhouse harmonies. They meet during a vocal training workshop meant for singers hoping to improve their technique. Both attend quietly, wanting to focus on learning rather than standing out. When the instructor asks for volunteers for a duet exercise, Jongho and Lily are paired together. Their voices blend instantly. The room fills with rich harmony that surprises even them. When the song ends, they exchange shy smiles, both realizing something special just happened. During breaks, they practice together in a smaller rehearsal room. Lily admires Jongho's powerful voice, while he compliments her precision and control. They begin sharing tips, encouraging each other to try new techniques. The atmosphere is supportive rather than competitive. By the end of the workshop, the two have spent hours singing together. Outside the building, the evening air feels lighter somehow. Lily suggests they exchange recordings so they can keep practicing. Jongho agrees immediately. Their connection feels natural, built on respect, music, and a shared love for the craft that brought them together. Jisung from NCT Dream and Haewon from NMIXX, the electric freestylers. They meet at a lively dance open mic event where performers take turns showcasing freestyle routines. Jisung watches quietly near the back wall, studying the dancers with focused curiosity. When Haewon steps onto the floor, her energy instantly fills the room. Her movements are playful and confident, earning cheers from the crowd. Later, Jisung finally gathers the courage to dance. Their styles collide in the most exciting way, his smooth precision blending with her expressive spontaneity. The crowd grows louder, but they barely notice. When the music ends, they both laugh breathlessly. Outside, they sit on the steps of the venue, sharing bottled water and catching their breath. Haewon admits performing still makes her nervous. Jisung says he feels the same every time. They begin talking about music, choreography, and the thrill of stepping onto a stage. The conversation lasts long after the event ends. Before leaving, Haewon suggests they meet again at the next open mic night. Jisung agrees instantly. Sometimes the best connections begin with a single shared rhythm. Hyunjae from the BOYZ and Eunchae from LESSERAFIM, the blooming optimists. They meet while volunteering at a peaceful community garden on a sunny afternoon. Hyunjae struggles with the watering hose, accidentally spraying water across the walkway. Eunchae bursts into laughter before showing him how to adjust the nozzle properly. They spend the afternoon tending rows of flowers together. The work is simple: planting seeds, watering soil, pulling weeds. But the quiet rhythm makes conversation easy. They talk about favorite seasons, childhood memories, and how peaceful places like this help them slow down. During lunch, they sit beneath a tree, sharing sandwiches from their bags. The sunlight filters gently through the leaves above them. Hyunjae admits he enjoys spaces where no one expects anything from him. Eunchae says she feels the same. As the day ends, they look back at the small row of flowers they planted together. Eunchae suggests they return in a few weeks to see how they've grown. Hyunjae smiles and agrees, because sometimes the best beginnings are planted slowly and given time to bloom. 7 meetings, 7 unexpected connections, none of them planned, yet each carrying the quiet possibility of something meaningful. In this universe, love doesn't need grand gestures or perfect timing. It simply appears when 2 people recognize something familiar in each other. These stories may be imagined, but the emotions behind them are real: curiosity, warmth, and hope. Somewhere in another version of the world, perhaps these paths truly cross. Until then, these moments remain here. Gentle reminders that love often begins in the most unexpected places.